Have you ever noticed how some people seem to just glide through life, attracting opportunities and solutions as if by magic? While others maybe even you feel like every single worthwhile thing has to be wrestled into existence, fought for, and earned with blood, sweat, and tears. It's a common feeling, isn't it? This deep, almost primal belief that anything truly valuable must come from struggle, sacrifice, or an exhausting, never-ending grind. We're taught it in subtle ways, from childhood fairy tales to the relentless hustle culture that surrounds us. We internalize it until it becomes a silent, unquestioned rule governing our entire approach to life. And here's the invisible mistake hiding in plain sight. This very belief, this deep-seated conviction that things have to be hard, is often the single biggest block to the very ease and abundance we're desperately chasing. Think about it. If your internal operating system is wired for struggle, how can you genuinely receive flow? If your subconscious blueprint insists on difficulty, how can simplicity ever truly land? It's like trying to navigate a dense fog with a map that only shows mountains. You're missing the clear paths, the open fields, the shortcuts. This isn't about denying the reality of challenges, but about understanding that our approach to those challenges fundamentally shapes their outcome and our experience of them. This is what we explore here, debunking the myth that life has to be hard and showing you how to genuinely rewire your inner world for a different kind of reality. If you're tired of the struggle and ready to unlock a more natural, fluid way of being and achieving, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. This channel is dedicated to giving you grounded, practical insights rooted in science and real-world results, helping you bridge the gap between what you know intellectually and what you live experientially. Stick around, because what I'm about to share will fundamentally shift how you view your own capacity for ease. So, if the belief that life has to be hard is holding us back, what's the alternative? What's the key that actually unlocks the results we're chasing, but with less friction? Here it is, in its purest form. One single phrase, spoken with genuine intention and a quiet inner alignment, has the power to radically shift the course of your life. That phrase is, "Everything comes to me with ease." Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Ease. Is this just some fluffy, wishful thinking? Is it about ignoring problems? And to be absolutely clear, no, it's not. This isn't about denying reality or pretending challenges don't exist. This isn't about becoming passively optimistic and waiting for the universe to deliver everything on a silver platter. That would be naive and, frankly, unhelpful. The true power of this statement lies not in its literal interpretation of a problem-free existence, but in what happens within you when you authentically embody it. The real transformation isn't just about what happens around you, it's about what happens within you when you consciously choose to let go of the deep-seated, often unconscious belief that life has to be hard. Think of it as a master key that unlocks a lighter, more receptive inner state. When you genuinely resonate with "everything comes to me with ease," it doesn't just echo in your thoughts as a fleeting idea. It begins to reprogram your entire system. It calms your nervous system, allowing you to move out of chronic fight or flight. It subtly begins to rewire your brain through the incredible power of neuroplasticity. And perhaps most profoundly, it transforms your energetic field, creating an internal environment that is far more conducive to receiving solutions, opportunities, and connections that align with that very state of ease. This counterintuitive shift from pushing and striving to allowing and receiving is the actual strategic key to unlocking a fundamentally different experience of your life. It's about cultivating an internal posture that invites flow, rather than constantly bracing against an imagined struggle. So, how does this actually work on a deeper level? When you begin to genuinely embody the phrase, "everything comes to me with ease," it's not just a nice thought. It activates powerful, interconnected mechanisms within your own system, bridging the gap between mind and matter. Let's break this down. First, consider your nervous system. Many of us are stuck in a subtle, chronic state of low-grade stress. We're constantly bracing for the next challenge, operating from a place of vigilance, even when things are going well. This bracing posture keeps our sympathetic nervous system subtly activated. It's the physiological equivalent of having your foot on the brake and the gas at the same time. But when you truly lean into the idea of ease, when you speak those words and genuinely allow yourself to feel that possibility, your nervous system begins to downregulate. It's like gently releasing the brakes. This shift moves you towards a more parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode, which is where clarity, creativity, and openness reside. When your nervous system is calm, you quite literally become more receptive, less rigid, and better able to perceive solutions that were previously obscured by the internal noise of anxiety or strain. Next, let's talk about your brain and neuroplasticity. Your brain is an incredible, adaptable organ, constantly rewiring itself based on your experiences, thoughts, and repeated patterns. When you consistently feed it the message that everything comes to me with ease, you're not just speaking words, you're creating a new neural pathway. You are quite literally training your brain to seek out and prioritize information that aligns with ease. This is where your reticular activating system, RAS, comes into play. Think of your RAS as your brain's personalized filter. It's the reason you suddenly start noticing every red car on the road after you decide you want one, or hear your name called across a crowded room. It filters out the vast majority of sensory input and highlights what's most relevant to you. When your dominant belief becomes ease, your RAS begins filtering the world through this new lens. It starts highlighting simpler paths, unexpected opportunities, once overlooked solutions, and supportive connections, because now, your internal focus is no longer stuck in the belief that everything must be difficult. You're literally seeing a different reality because your internal filter has shifted. Now, let's touch on the energetic level, drawing parallels from concepts like the observer effect in quantum physics. While we're not dealing with subatomic particles directly, the principle of how our focus and intention can shape our experience of reality holds powerful symbolic weight here. When your thoughts, feelings, and words align, when you genuinely feel the ease you are speaking about, your body enters a state of coherence. Your heart and mind sync up. This isn't just poetic language. It's a measurable physiological state. When you are coherent, your vibrational field expands. You're literally operating at a different frequency. Imagine you are a radio receiver. If you're constantly tuned to the struggle and grind station, that's what you'll hear. But by consciously tuning into ease and flow, you begin to pick up different signals, different opportunities, different solutions, different people. This new internal state, this coherent, expanded field, begins to shape what you draw into your life. It's not magic. It's the consistent, subtle, yet profound effect of your internal state influencing your external experience. You're essentially becoming a magnet for what aligns with your dominant inner reality. So, the phrase, "everything comes to me with ease," isn't a passive wish. It's an active, strategic intervention that recalibrates your nervous system, reprograms your brain's filtering system, and shifts your energetic coherence. It's about consciously moving from a state of internal resistance to one of receptive alignment. Now, here's where it gets interesting and perhaps a little counterintuitive. Many of us, driven by a deep desire for success and progress, often engage in behaviors that we believe are helping us, but which, ironically, reinforce the underlying problem of struggle. We're taking what we perceive as the right actions, but they're actually keeping us stuck in the very pattern we're trying to break. Think about it. How often have you heard the mantra, "no pain, no gain," or the relentless glorification of the hustle? We're conditioned to believe that if something isn't hard, it isn't worth doing, or it won't lead to significant results. This deeply ingrained cultural narrative leads us to actively seek out difficulty, often unconsciously. We might choose the most challenging path when an easier, equally effective one exists. We might overcomplicate simple processes, believing that complexity equals merit. We might push ourselves to the brink of burnout, equating exhaustion with productivity. Consider the person who believes they need to work 80-hour weeks to achieve financial freedom. They might be constantly stressed, neglecting their well-being, and feeling perpetually overwhelmed. In their mind, this intense effort is absolutely necessary. But what if that very intensity, that chronic state of stress, is actually closing them off to more intuitive solutions, to collaborative opportunities, or to the clarity that comes from a well-rested mind? Their right action, the excessive working, is reinforcing the belief that money only comes through extreme hardship, thereby making it harder to perceive or receive easier paths to abundance. Or take the individual in a difficult relationship who constantly feels the need to fix everything through intense confrontation or relentless analysis. They're putting in a tremendous amount of effort, but their approach, driven by a belief in the necessity of struggle, might be creating more friction rather than resolution. They might be so focused on the hard work of fixing that they miss opportunities for gentle connection, for allowing space, or for simply being receptive to their partner's needs without preconceived notions of difficulty. These right actions, the overworking, the relentless pushing, the perpetual problem-solving from a place of strain, become self-fulfilling prophecies. They confirm our internal belief that things must be hard. We create scenarios that validate our subconscious programming. We confuse effort with forced struggle and consistency with brute force. We exhaust ourselves trying to climb a wall when a door might have been opened just around the corner or a ladder was sitting unused right beside us. But our belief system, honed by years of societal conditioning and personal experience, keeps our focus fixed on the perceived difficulty, blinding us to the path of ease. We often produce the opposite result of what's intended, not because we lack effort, but because our effort is misdirected by a fundamentally misaligned internal premise. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being strategically smart and understanding the subtle ways our minds can conspire against our own highest intentions. Just sit with that for a second. If any of what I've just said resonates, if you recognize these patterns in your own life, I want you to know something incredibly important. The issue isn't a lack of effort on your part. It's not that you're not trying hard enough, or that you're not capable, or that you don't want it badly enough. Absolutely not. The real issue is a deeply ingrained, often unconscious, misaligned approach. It's a systemic misunderstanding of how ease actually functions in your life, and how your internal state directly influences your external reality. Think about the frustration that builds up when you are putting in the effort. You are working hard, and yet the results feel perpetually out of reach, or they arrive feeling chipped and worn down, not vibrant and abundant. That frustration isn't a sign of failure. It's a perfectly natural response to an internal system that's out of sync with your conscious desires. It's the universe, or perhaps your own deeper wisdom, nudging you, saying, "There's an easier way to accomplish this." You're swimming upstream, not because you have to, but because you believe it's the only way to get to the other side. There's a profound relief in understanding this. It's not about fixing something that's broken within you. It's about recalibrating a system that's been programmed with limiting beliefs. You don't need to force yourself to try harder or do more. In fact, often, the path to greater success and abundance lies in doing less of what's misaligned and more of what's in flow. It's about letting go of the internal resistance that turns every opportunity into a perceived burden and every desire into a fight. Imagine the feeling of finally being able to put down a heavy backpack you've been carrying for years, one you didn't even realize you were allowed to set down. That feeling of lightness, of spaciousness, that's the beginning of what's possible when you acknowledge that your struggle isn't a badge of honor, but an invitation to find a more elegant solution. It validates the exhaustion you've felt, the sense that something just isn't quite right despite your best efforts. And it opens up a genuine pathway to relief, showing you that a new, more aligned path is not only possible, but entirely within your reach. It's about shifting from the mindset of scarcity and struggle to one of possibility and ease. So, With this new perspective beginning to land, I invite you to just pause for a moment. This isn't about finding an immediate answer, but simply allowing these ideas to settle. Ask yourself this: where in your life are you currently pushing against a closed door, when perhaps an open window is waiting just beside it? And consider this: what deeply held belief about struggle or difficulty might be quietly dictating your effort, even when an easier, more aligned path presents itself? Just let those questions sit with you. There's no need to force a revelation. The goal here isn't to judge your past actions, but to gently illuminate the unconscious patterns that might be shaping your current experience. This moment of honest introspection is where the real shift begins, where the possibility of a different way starts to take root. It's about becoming aware of the invisible scripts running in the background of your life. So, if simply saying, "Everything comes to me with ease," isn't just fluffy thinking, how do we actually live it? How do we integrate this understanding into our daily lives so it becomes more than just a fleeting thought? The good news is, it comes down to surprisingly simple, consistent daily actions. It's not about grand, complex gestures, but about the quiet, repetitive cultivation of a new internal state. The first actionable step is to practice intentional presence when you say the phrase. This isn't about robotic repetition. When you utter, "Everything comes to me with ease," truly feel it in your body. Take a deep breath, slow down, allow yourself a momentary glimpse of what that ease would feel like. Is it a lightness in your chest, a relaxation in your shoulders, a softening of your jaw? The quality of the moment when you say it is far more important than the quantity of times you say it. Try doing this just a few times a day, maybe first thing in the morning, or before an important task, or when you feel tension building. Secondly, actively seek out and celebrate small instances of ease throughout your day. Our brains are wired to notice problems. We easily dismiss moments when things do go smoothly. Did you hit every green light on your commute? Did a parking spot open up just when you needed it? Did you find exactly what you were looking for at the store without effort? These are not coincidences. They are feedback from a universe responding to your underlying state. Acknowledge them. Say thank you. This practice retunes your brain to look for ease, reinforcing the new neural pathways we talked about. It's like building muscle memory for effortless flow. Third, and this is crucial, release the need for struggle as validation. This might be one of the hardest shifts. When you encounter a challenge, instead of immediately bracing for a fight, pause. Ask yourself, is there an easier way to approach this? What would this look like if it were effortless? Sometimes, the solution isn't about pushing harder, but about taking a step back, asking for help, delegating, or simply waiting for clarity to emerge. This doesn't mean avoiding responsibility. It means choosing the path of least resistance when appropriate, trusting that efficiency and grace can lead to equally powerful, if not superior, results. These are simple daily actions, yes, but their cumulative effect is profound. They build a new inner foundation, brick by consistent brick. They help you break out of the autopilot that keeps you stuck in patterns of struggle and step into conscious leadership of your life with clarity, consistency, and intentionality. And if you're feeling a deep resonance with this idea, if you're ready to not just understand these principles, but to truly integrate them into every facet of your being, I want to tell you about the trail. This isn't just another quick fix or a course about a specific topic like money or relationships. Instead, the trail is a structured, practical path designed to help you reorganize your inner foundation, the very core of who you are and how you operate in the world. It's divided into 3 powerful phases: deep self-awareness, intentional identity, redesign, and actionable habit change. It offers a continuous personal evolution process with deep exercises and daily challenges, all designed to help you ground and continue the insights we're discussing today. It's for those who are ready to make this transformation real and lasting. If what we've discussed today has sparked something within you, and you're ready to commit to your own powerful evolution, you can find the link to explore the trail in the description below. It's the practical way to solidify this new path we're beginning to forge. Now, it's vital to address something up front. As you embark on this journey of cultivating ease, there will be moments when it feels challenging. There will be days when the old programming kicks in, when you fall back into patterns of struggle, or when setbacks seem to confirm that it always has to be hard. This is not a sign of failure. It is not an indication that you're doing something wrong, or that this approach doesn't work for you. Quite the opposite. Recognize that decades of conditioning, both personal and societal, are deeply embedded. Shifting these patterns is not about instant perfection. It's about persistent, gentle recalibration. Think of it like learning to walk again after a long time. You're going to stumble. You're going to lose your balance. But the progress isn't in never falling. It's in how quickly you regain your footing, how gracefully you return to alignment. Every single perceived failure or moment of struggle is actually a valuable piece of feedback. It's an opportunity to notice where the old beliefs are still operating, where the internal resistance is strongest. These moments are invitations to pause, to breathe, and to gently re-engage with the idea that ease is possible. You might find yourself in a situation where you instinctively tense up and brace for difficulty. Instead of judging yourself, simply observe it. Then, consciously choose to soften. Choose to remind yourself, what if this could come with ease? Real progress isn't about eliminating challenges from your life. Life will always present them. Instead, it's about transforming your relationship with those challenges. It's about building the internal resilience to meet them not with dread and force, but with a quiet confidence and an expectation of natural flow. It's about how quickly you can return to that state of inner alignment, that receptive posture after a misstep. So, be gentle with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, learn from the stumbles, and remember that this journey is about continuous evolution, not an endpoint. So, as we bring this conversation to a close, I want to leave you with a powerful, yet simple, invitation. This isn't just about intellectual understanding. It's about a shift in your very way of being. Consider a single, symbolic action you can take right now, today, that represents your commitment to embracing more ease in your life. It doesn't need to be grand or dramatic. Perhaps it's literally taking a deep, slow breath and, as you exhale, consciously releasing a specific tension you've been holding. Maybe it's choosing to unclench your jaw as you go about your day, or consciously soften your shoulders when you feel yourself bracing. It could be as simple as pausing before rushing into your next task and quietly whispering, "What if this could come with ease?" to yourself. This small decision, this subtle shift in your physical or mental posture, is more than just a fleeting act. It's a powerful emotional and cognitive anchor. It's you, in this very moment, sending a clear signal to your nervous system, to your subconscious, and to the universe itself. I am choosing a different way. I am open to ease. I am releasing the need for struggle. It's an act of self-leadership, a quiet rebellion against the ingrained belief that everything must be hard. Let this moment be the marker, the subtle turning point, from which a new, more effortless flow begins to emerge in your life. This journey we've talked about today, from struggle to ease, from pushing to allowing, is more than just a change in strategy. It's an identity shift. You're not just doing things differently. You're becoming someone who operates from a place of ease. You are stepping into the identity of a leader of your own life, someone who orchestrates abundance not through brute force, but through conscious alignment. Embrace this new identity. See yourself as the person to whom everything truly does come with ease. This isn't about arrogance. It's about claiming your inherent capacity for a more flowing, more joyful existence. The transformation we've discussed today is not a finish line. It's the beginning of a continuous personal evolution. And that's the beautiful part. Once you start to experience the power of truly embodying ease, you'll naturally want to deepen it, to integrate it further into every corner of your life. This path of self-awareness, intentional design, and consistent action is an ongoing dance, a perpetual unfolding. So, Continue to ask the questions, continue to explore, and continue to experiment with what feels aligned and effortless for you. If these ideas resonate with you, and you want to continue this journey with us, growing in understanding and practical application, then I invite you to become a part of this community. Hit that subscribe button below, not as an obligation, but as an act of belonging. Join us as we continue to unpack the science and spirituality of a life lived with greater freedom, clarity, and yes, ease. Because ultimately, a life of purpose doesn't have to be a life of perpetual struggle. It can be a magnificent, flowing experience.